a lot of people think I'm fucking crazy, right? And I don't know if it's because I use psychedelics. Is it because I think psychedelics are real? That it really takes me to another dimension? Is it because, like, I don't give a fuck about the normal things that people care about? Like, I could end up homeless right now. And, like, y'all don't understand that I will be okay. Like, I've been homeless before. So, it's not that big of a fucking deal, right? Like, I'm so connected to the psychedelics and to spirituality and to this whole thing that I completely understand, like, how people can just let go of everything and kind of just give everything up. Like, I get it because I can do the same thing. Um, the one thing I cannot give up is my daughter, so that's the only reason why I'm not living in Peru right now. Like, literally, I would be in Peru right the fuck now, but I can't leave my daughter. So here I am still. But I guess people think I'm fucking crazy because, like, I speak my mind and I'm not scared to speak my mind. I don't care what people think about me. I've meditated for years just so I could learn how to silence my mind and gain control of my own emotions and feelings. Because, yeah, you can gain a bunch of things in life. You can gain a bunch of money. You can gain a bunch of items and physical possessions. But I've gained my mind and it makes me seem crazy. Because in a world where everyone decided to give their mind up for comfort, I decided to give up comfort for my mind. And it's really been an uncomfortable fucking journey trying to gain control of my mind. And I mean gain control of my mind. Like, I'm black, but that doesn't affect the way I think. The way I was raised no longer affects the way I think. The religion that I was raised in no longer affects the way I think. Like, all of it is now me. I chose what I believe based on my own experiences in the human world. Not based on, like, I chose what I believe spiritually based on my own spiritual experiences. I, before in the past, I would read about people's spiritual experiences. I would listen, to videos and audios of, like, people talk about their spiritual experiences. Now I have my own. So, like, over the years, I've just slowly gained control of myself, gained control of my mind. I've sat here and practiced and practiced and practiced on how to make music, so now I'm really good at making music. I sat here and practiced at speaking, so now I'm really good at speaking. Um, I don't watch Netflix or Hulu. Today I watched a little bit of Netflix today for the first time in like 3 months. I watched one episode of Family Guy. Um, but I tell people these things and they say I'm crazy. Like, I'm crazy because I don't watch Netflix. I'm crazy because I learn, right? And I love to learn. I don't. Watching TV shows is boring to me. I like to watch documentaries. I like to learn new information. This is what I enjoy doing. Um, but that's crazy to people because other people enjoy, like, fun things. Like, I don't know. My one dude was like, because I'm single, and he was like, well, why don't you go have fun? You know what I mean? Get some bitches and blah blah blah. I'm like, but I don't want women. I don't want none of that. That shit ain't fun to me. Like, I want to fucking just become the man I was meant to be. That shit is fun to me. It's hard and it's fucking complicated, but I'm having the time of my life becoming the man I was meant to be. Right? Like, I guess people think I'm crazy because, and I don't know, part of my ego wanted to be like, maybe people think I'm crazy because I do the thing that they want to do. Like, I don't know. Like, people get mad. Like, I had this dude get mad at me because I quit my job, right? And he got mad at me, started yelling at me. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you mad about? I'm the one that should be mad. Like, damn, I gotta pay my bills and like shit. And I fucking quit the job. But people get mad because I'm doing the thing they want to do. right? I said, I'm going to quit the job and I'm going to start selling beats. Sounds crazy. Oh, you need to think of a better plan because that ain't gonna work, and you need to have a plan B, and make sure you have the job just in case, and all these just in cases and all this shit. Like, I'm not scared to fail. Maybe that's why people think I'm crazy, cause I'm not scared to try. Like, do you understand that I tell y'all so much shit that I'm trying to do? Other people like say you shouldn't tell people what you're doing because then what if you don't do it? Then one of y'all are gonna call me out on it. That like what? Like I don't care. Like in a sense that's what I want though. Like if I'm trying to do something and if 2 weeks passes and I still haven't told y'all that I'm selling beats yet or I haven't dropped my beats yet, I would hope somebody would comment and be like, "Yo, are you gonna drop your beats?" I got people, that ask me how my business is doing, or like how far along I'm getting on my online business. I got people that so that's why I express because y'all are fucking awesome. Y'all like keep me on my toes, right? But it's this thing that I'm like, I'm taking so much risks to become the man I want to be. Other people take risks so they can gain possessions in the human world. I understand my soul is going to last longer than this human world. So that's why I'm focused on my soul. I'm focused on empowering my soul. I was in True Life Stories live stream the other day, and somebody, I forget who it was, but somebody mentioned that like possibly the one thing that we'll be able to take with us into the next dimension is spiritual knowledge. Like the spiritual knowledge that you've gained, that's the knowledge that will withstand, right? The fact that when we die, our consciousness is going to be so shattered. The people that have no idea what's going to happen, death is going to be such a traumatic experience for them that their consciousness is going to rip apart and they're just going to probably end up getting reborn and not have any say in it because their consciousness couldn't handle what was happening. Psychedelics have allowed me to gain a familiarity with the death world, with the spirit world, right? With transitioning from one thing to another, from transitioning to having a body to not having a body. All of this sounds crazy to people. It really does sound crazy. But why does religion not sound crazy? Like, it sounds crazy to me that people follow a book who they have no idea, like, you have no idea if those words are real. Like, you have faith that those words are real, but that's just as crazy as me having faith that the psychedelics are real, right? So, why do we live in a world where I'm the crazy one, but religious people, they're just religious, don't talk shit about their religion, don't put religious people down, whatever. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But also don't put psychedelic people down because we're all the same thing, right? We're all just souls trying to figure out what the fuck is going on and what we are. But like, that's what I did. I figured out what the fuck I am. I don't know what, like, it would be really ego of me for me to say, yeah, I know what humans are. I know why humans exist. And I know why I exist. I know what I am. And that's all you'll ever find out is what you are. Like, you'll never find the truth. You'll find your truth. You'll never find anyone else, but you will find yourself. And that's what makes me so crazy, is I refuse to let the world harden me, right? I went through a breakup, and like, everyone looked at me like I was crazy, because I'm still love. I'm still peace. I'm still happy. I'm still me. I don't know. I've been angry my whole life, so I let go of the anger, right? So I don't. This dude was yelling at me on the phone the other day because like I said, I quit my job, and he was mad that I quit my job, and then he called me crazy because I said, like, why are you upset? Why are you yelling? Like, what is the reason why you're screaming instead of talking? Like, I understand that you don't agree with what I'm doing, and that's okay, but I just want to know why you're upset. And why do you have to yell about it? And then he came back at me like, well, not everyone can be all peace, love like a hippie, blah, 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 all this other shit, right? And it reminded me, well, this dude was trying to get me to work for him. He was like, I'll give you guaranteed money every week, and he was gonna get me an apartment. He was gonna teach me how to drive. He was gonna get me a car. And he owns these businesses. I was gonna work for his business, but I explained like, bro, you sound miserable. Whatever the fuck you did with your life, it was the wrong thing. Because if you're 50 years old, screaming, I mean, you lose your temper. You have no control of your own emotions and feelings. But yet, I'm the crazy one because I don't, need money like everyone else. I need money for the bills and because I have kids. But I am so me. I don't know what other word to use. I hate this word because it's kind of, been used too much, but I am so woke that I don't need the physical world. I can sit with nothing. I can go live in the jungle and be a happy man. I can go live in a Buddhist monastery and be a happy man. I can, I don't know. I'm actually the man that I've always wanted to be. 5 years ago, I'm abstinent now. 5 years ago, I would have never thought that I could have been abstinent. I would have never thought that I could have done these things, but I became these things because I became the man that I've always wanted to be. And that's what makes me look crazy, is I have been working on me since I was 20 years old. I started the psychedelic journey when I was 20. I'm about to be 28. And people think I'm crazy because, I was doing psychedelics. And, when I started doing psychedelics, people was like, oh, you're doing those white people drugs, bro. You're like, it's that shit. And I just would rather be crazy than normal. That's just how I feel. Because if that is what is normal, if what is normal is people will sacrifice their happiness and peace just so they can have money, people will sacrifice love and for money and for things and for, that's crazy to me. That's fucking crazy to me. It's crazy to me that you get about 100 years on this planet and people work their entire life away, right? Maybe you have a good job, maybe you had a good house and you got a nice car and you got a boat and maybe you got a jet, and you have all these things. But at the end of the day, the only thing that can come with you when you die is you. And that's why I focused on me first, right? I made a sacrifice years ago that when I was a teenager, I was this wannabe thug in this gang/rap group called Straight Cash. And by the name of it, we were all about trying to get that straight cash. And we was planning on, making straight cash and doing it whatever the fucking way we needed to. I used to put guns to people's heads and rob them. I used to do some dumb shit, anything for that straight cash. And literally, now I'm looking at it that was crazy. But why is it that the people that have known me my entire life, if I stayed that same teenager that used to put guns to fucking people's heads and shit, if I was that man, people would say I'm normal. But because I went on a spiritual journey, started using psychedelics, I now take them spiritually. I have a connection with the psychedelic. I don't think they're drugs. I think they allow humans to have access to the spirit world. This is some real shit. That makes me crazy. It makes me crazy that, now, you know what's so awesome? I was talking to my dad about this, and my dad has been in and out of my life my whole life, so he's never really known me, actually known my personality. So, as I was talking to him, he basically said I sounded crazy. But then as I talked to my mom, she says that she's, in a sense, proud of me. Because my mother raised me. So she knew the teenage boy that I was. The wannabe thug that disrespected her, didn't give a fuck what she said. And I didn't think about her in that way. I was such a bad kid. And so ego. And so whatever. That I did what I wanted. And I didn't care. I got locked up at 14 for armed robbery. And You know, I remember my mom just crying, and really, she was just wanting me out the house at that point because I was so out of hand. Fast forward years later, after psychedelics, my mom explained it that she didn't necessarily, in the beginning, and still now, she doesn't agree with me using psychedelics as much as I do or the way I do, but she also doesn't disagree because she sees how it's benefited my behavior and the way I treat her and the way I think about my mother. Like, it's from the first time I started using psychedelics, I went and apologized to my mom. I sat there and let my mom know how much I love her and, like, how much I appreciate her and how much she has sacrificed so I can become the man I am. And, like, how she loved me and raised me and was like my best friend growing up as a kid. And I don't know. So if it wasn't for the psychedelics, I would have never, like, the relationship I have with my mom now has a lot to do with the psychedelics. The relationship I have with my daughter has a lot to do with the psychedelics because helped they helped me fix my behavior. And people think that's crazy. But science is now backing us up, so we're not fucking crazy anymore. Because Johns Hopkins University and a bunch of other things are looking at psychedelics to help with mental health. Right? I think this is why I don't have mental health issues, and I get looked at like I'm crazy. Like, when I say I've practiced meditation for years, and I've practiced silence in the mind meditation, like the type of meditation where you sit there, and every time your mind tries to think about something, you catch it. You catch that thought, you silence it again. And then your mind will try to think about something else. Then you catch that thought, then you silence it again. And eventually, there will be less, like after years of practice, there will be less thoughts that you have to catch. And then eventually, it could just be silent. Just like it was in my head there. Just like it was out here. It was silent in my head just like it was out here. People think that's crazy. Because we've been taught that when you have anxiety, here's a pill. Take this pill. We have not been taught that you can gain control of your mind. You can take back your own power. But this sounds crazy because we're taught that we are powerless, we have no power, and we have to rely on the system for power. We have been taught that, plants don't heal. What plants are not medicine? You have to take drugs. Drugs are medications. You have to take real medication to heal yourself. We're not taking psychedelics to connect to God. You're fucking crazy. You have to go to church for that. Like, we've been taught these things, and it's all bullshit, right? And that's why people say I'm crazy, because I speak my mind, and I don't give a fuck, right? I don't care if it goes against what everyone else thinks. I don't care if I'm the only one that believes what the fuck I believe. I'm gonna say what I believe, and it's crazy, but what I believe is that I'm gonna live my life, and I only get one life, and make sure you are spending your time wisely, right? That's all I'm doing. Is for right now, right? My money situation just went down because I had a job, but then I quit the job so I could spend more time doing what I'm trying to do. But I sacrificed money, like immediate money right now. So therefore I had to cut my eating habits down. I had to cut a lot of these things down because for right now I'm not making much money. But this is all about me putting my energy into the thing I'm trying to do, which then can make me money, hopefully within the next month. And yes, I'm sacrificing basically a month with like such little money, it's ridiculous. And that's crazy to people because everyone else would much rather get a job and have a comforting paycheck every single week instead of taking the risk to do what sets their soul on fire. Because I take the risk to do what sets my soul on fire, people think I'm crazy. And I don't give a fuck. Because my soul is on fire, bro. It's hard to give a fuck what people think when your soul is on fire and their soul is fucking, like, bone fucking dry but no fire going on. Like, because, like, I don't know. So, yeah, I'm fucking crazy. But I love it. I'm crazy because I'm misunderstood. I'm crazy because I travel into dimensions with psychedelics and people don't understand that. I'm crazy because I am living for my death and people don't understand that. That I don't want to die, no. But everything I do is for my death. So I can be here after I'm dead. So I can still do my thing after my human body is gone. And that's crazy to people because so many people don't like even to think about death. So like, other people are making videos so they can get 1 million views. Other people are making content or making music so they can get people to listen to their music. I don't care if people listen to my music. I don't care if people watch. Like, this shit will be here after I'm dead. So then they can listen to it if they want it. I don't know. But it's going to be here for as long as I could possibly fucking keep it there. So, like, that's crazy to people. It's crazy that I make music because I love to make music, not because I want a record deal or want to be famous or something. That's crazy to people. It's crazy that I make videos that, like, I genuinely just want to wake the world up. Like, genuinely. That's why I make the type of videos I do. That's why I speak my mind the way I do. That's why I tell everyone all the information I have about psychedelics, because I truly want to wake the world up. I don't care about becoming a popular fucking guy, right? Like, I just care about expressing myself, right? Being the full expression of me. And all of this shit sounds crazy to people, but that's okay, because I'm just misunderstood.